Alright, welcome back. I'm doing a little bit of an impromptu video covering some news, because if you couldn't tell, I am quite the fan of Warhammer 40,000. And I'm going to try and get at something here. We've got a new preview for the new Space Marine Codex, which, quite frankly, has been a long time coming, but compared to the previous Chaos Codex, it's more. I have a feeling like sometimes these codexes aren't really too well thought together sometimes in terms of releasing and what they're going to do like next time. So let's have a look at these new units that they've been showcasing. So you've got these Incurser squads, which are an alternate build of the Infiltrators, and they're all about robbing enemies of cover, and you can't really get any minuses to hit off of them because they've got thermal scanners and whatnot. So, yeah, and then you've got a transport for Primaris, which it's a small transport, admittedly, but why can't they just fit into the rhinos? Honestly, it's just one of those things that comes out as just like, yeah, it looks interesting, but transports aren't really that valid in this edition. I think they've lost a lot in terms of what they do. Like, I think they're tougher, but it's just getting onto them and getting off of them. They don't really synergize well in terms of like entire movement phase. You just put them in and then you probably just disembark you guys straight after because, well, you're not shooting with them, are you? And you can't move and then disembark. That'd be silly. But yeah, it's apart from this one, of course, which is if it did not advance, units embarked aboard it can disembark, which I think most vehicles should do anyway. Like, there's not too much point, because I mean, you jump onto them, drive up, and then jump out. You're just really using them as a movement booster, which really, that's kind of what a transport vehicle should be. You should be able to allow your units to range out more. But transport's 6 Primaris, which admittedly I don't have much transport for Primaris. I don't even have one of those repulsors, believe it or not. I just find they're a bit too expensive. I've got Land Raiders, thank you very much. And that's kind of why I've never really decided to pick one up. And I've got lots of Rhinos too. And Drop Pods, which again are useless in this edition. It's great, isn't it? Just gathering dust. It seems to be more of a reflective on the way that the list is designed to be used in-game effectively, which I've been thinking about doing another video on. So let's just have a scroll down away, because it's got some cool abilities, and now you've got the baby carrier for Space Marines, the Tactical Warsuit, which is a dreadnought with no sarcophagus. It's basically what it is. Except the sarcophagus is a living marine, of course. And it's got a heavy bolt pistol, which admittedly I would turn sideways because it makes it a kill shot. And then you've got the bog standard infiltrator, who can... they're pretty good. Eliminators, the snipers, which... Space Marine... I'm not a big fan of Space Marine Scouts. But yeah, now they've got this, the 3 Doctrines, which is something that really sets it apart, this one. I mean, apart from like all the new abilities and all that, I feel like they're giving too much love to Space Marines. So you start with the Devastator Doctrine, which is about hitting people with heavy fire, which is increasing penetration of heavy and... what's it called? Heavy and grenade weapons by 1, which can make a sizable chunk of your army. And then you can swap, then you can change it later on to Tactical Doctrine, and then it goes into Assault Doctrine, which... I mean, I don't really see myself going into Assault Doctrine too much. Because Tactical Doctrine is just too useful. So is Devastator. But it's not being conducive to what is the way the game flows. Because Space Marines, they're all about shock and awe. And more now they're seeing more based around bubbles and auras, which I can get. You could implement that into a sort of strong hard hitting army, but they're not exactly too mobile, if that makes sense. Because I mean, drop pods, they can only transport regular Marines, and for the point cost, they're just too expensive. Rhinos, why would you pay for a Rhino to put your tactical Marines in when you can spend just a few more points and take Intercessor Marines so you kind of outclass regular Marines in every function possible? And that's the problem. It seems like GW isn't too sure how to align Space Marines in a gameplay sense with how they actually are. Of course I'm still going to buy the fucking Codex, of course, because I play Space Marines. That's granted. But I'm not really a fan of all these new units that they're getting. They're just too much. I'd rather like some units, new enemy units to fight rather than to have new units to deploy. Because it makes things a lot more interesting in a fight. You need to use more of what you can get. I don't know. I'm rambling here. It's just... it is quite frankly an off-the-cuff video. Like, I'm not really sort of planning anything or putting any funny jokes in or any of my weird humour, but I don't know. I just look at things. And I mean, people are excited, and I'm just kind of more down about it. You know? People like, Valvac, who I do enjoy his content, but I'm like, come on, dude, you're getting a little bit overhyped here a little bit. A little bit overhyped. Fuck. And that's the thing, you've got the supplemental codexes, which include all kinds of stuff. Granted, I'm excited at being able to make my own chapter instead of just taking the fucking Raven Guard stratagem like every time that I do. But it's just not... it's not useful. Can't think of anything more to say, actually. Maybe it'll come to me.